the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nichalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Shrimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nichalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Shrimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, to all of our Guru Varga and all the assembled devotees. So I was very happy to hear from upstairs yesterday how Kanayalal Prabhu was doing the class in the same way that our Srila Prabhupada gave classes on all the Srimad Bhagavatam cantos. That is, everybody would repeat the verse, and then the different devotees would take turns saying the verse as others repeated it, and then he did the word-for-word translation, and you all repeated that. And Prabhupada's idea was that by saying it so many times, you'll get to know it. There was a point where, because we knew what verse was coming next, for example, in Prayers of Queen Kunti, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so we would memorize the verse the day before with careful attention to the diacritics and all that. So Prabhupada would first call on the male devotees and then the female devotees, and we knew them by heart. So Prabhupada exclaimed, "The girls say it better than the boys." So he really liked that everybody took seriously the learning of the verses. So today, how much time do we have? Until 11 or? Okay. So today we'll try to cover the first two verses. Should we do it that same way with repetition? Or is there no time?
45 minutes.
There's a lot of books here. Should we do it that way or not?
But the first two verses we did yesterday.
You did? Right. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara-pasta vegam, etana vegam, jovishahe tadira, sarvam atimam, prithivim shashishat. A wise and self-composed person who can subdue the impetus to speak, the agitation of the mind, the onset of anger, the vehemence of the tongue, the urge of the belly, and the agitation of the genitals, can instruct the entire world. In other words, all persons may become disciples of such a self-controlled person. Srila Gurudev gave a class in the United States back in 2001 on the first two verses. And he said, actually, this Upadesamrta, or nectar of instruction, is Amrita. It is nectar, although in the beginning it appears to be bitter. Then by practicing it and mastering it, then one realizes it's nectar. And he said, without learning and imbibing in our heart the verses of nectar of instruction and their meanings, we cannot advance even 1 inch in bhakti. He explained that we want to jump up to only talk about ras topics, and Nishanta Leela topics, and conjugal affair topics, thinking that that will make us advance more quickly and taste nectar very easily, whereas actually we're just tasting our material conceptions. So Gurudev said these verses in the Nectar of Instruction are more important for hearing and understanding. And whenever in the West, Srila Gurudev would give high topics, like for example, Uddhav goes to Vrindavan, and he sees everybody very happy, and then he sees the curtain going down on that scene, and everybody's weeping, and the bumblebees are rolling on the ground weeping, and the cows are weeping, cows aren't giving milk, nobody's making cow dung patties, the trees aren't giving leaves and flowers, everybody's miserable. Mother Yasoda is lying down in her kitchen like a skeleton, having become blind from crying so much. So we talk about all these topics, and then how Uddhav went to see the gopis, and how Radharani's speaking with the bumblebee. And then, towards the end of the class, he would say, "Now come down to the beginning." And he would quote the verses of Nectar of Instruction, saying that without understanding and practicing this, we can't make any advancement. We can't make any advancement because this is the basis of bhakti. Without following these instructions, one cannot possibly perform Shuddha Bhakti, Anyavilasita Sunyam, meaning, you all know the translation of Anyavilasita Sunyam? Can anybody say? You say?
I don't know the very long, sophisticated.
Doesn't matter. Loud though.
Anyavilasita Sunyam means pure bhakti means to act for the satisfaction or for the happiness of Krishna, for Krishna's well-being, favorable for Krishna, and constantly, without any interruption, with all one's body, mind and words and heart, and without any other desires than to see Krishna happy. And also not covered, in this endeavor, not covered by any material activities or by jnana, by any knowledge, and or any other things.
What do you mean by any knowledge?
Jnana, there are many kinds of knowledge in this world. There's some, first is mundane knowledge. For example, I need to know what day is tomorrow, so that I can, to do anything in this world, I need some knowledge. This is necessary. But so also we practice bhakti in this world. We also need some knowledge of this world. But our studying of knowledge, it should not become more important than our practice of bhakti. Means our bhakti should not be covered by any material activity, also not by acquiring mundane knowledge. Also it means there's other kind of jnana, it's called impersonal knowledge. This idea that I'm Brahman, I'm one with God, this kind of knowledge also, it should not cover our bhakti, this idea, I'm Krishna's servant, Krishna is my master, or I want to serve Krishna. And also on a higher level, That means that like the gopis, even not this knowledge that Krishna is God, this will not cover their pure love for Krishna, even this kind of knowledge. In the beginning, this knowledge is necessary for us, but for very advanced devotees, even this kind of knowledge, it should not cover their bhakti.
Thank you. And you said that one word means constantly, and that same word also means anugatya, or under the guidance of. Anusilanam also includes anugatya, or performed under the guidance of the pure devotee. Thank you. So if we want our bhakti to come to that, and not just be a rope siddha bhakti, which means superimposing the word bhakti on something that's not bhakti, like suppose I'm taking care of the didis, but really I like to do arts and crafts, and I like to see how the pleats go up and how this color matches that color. It's not really bhakti, but I'm calling it bhakti. It's not really Thakurji worship. Or Sangha Siddha Bhakti. There are many Mayavadis who are also apparently equal to all, friendly to all. They give respect to all, but their activities are not bhakti. The real meaning of Sangha Siddha Bhakti, the deepest meaning, is the natural outpour of qualities that come from bhakti, like renunciation of Raghunath Das Goswami, or the humility of Sanatana Goswami. But Sangha Siddha Bhakti can also be those qualities which resemble bhakti, but which are not bhakti. And in the society of devotees, it may look like somebody's friendliness is bhakti because he's doing it in the society of devotees, but it may not be. So if we want our bhakti to not remain a rope siddha bhakti or sangha siddha bhakti, but we want it to become shuddha bhakti or anyavilasita bhakti, pure bhakti, uttama bhakti, Gurudev said it's essential to follow the principles of Upadesamrta.